I'm loving the bloopers for this.
Go.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the LA Dance Diary.
Episode 9. My name is Rachel.
I'm Abby.
And this is Maddie.
Hello.
We got a friend today.
Our first official guest.
So first official guest and first official in-house recording.
Yeah.
So we're here.
This is
we're
exciting.
live.
We're upping the ante. Although I know you'll all miss Gizmo screaming in the back of every podcast. I apologize for that.
We had to start somewhere, and I'm excited that we're actually back and that we're coming back from summer, ready to go, ready to like kick off the start of the September season. So yeah,
September.
Well, I guess we have one more month. But it feels like summer's over.
I was like, wait, it's not August yet.
I know, but I feel like y'all had your summer of your lives. So that's why I'm kind of like, I feel like we're coming back together after that amount of time.
Yeah.
How was Texas?
Oh my God. It was a dream. It was a dream.
It looked so much fun. I mean, y'all ended up at the EDM festivals, living your best.
Yep.
We didn't even mean to.
Thanks to Maddie being a chit chatter and us just being fun people in general, and I feel like being open to the universe.
Yeah. I mean, we just say yes to things. So we just find ourselves in the wildest situations where you just like meet a DJ on the plane. And she was like
amazing.
Sweetest human ever.
Coolest human. Annabelle England. I'm going to plug that. So go listen to her music. She's amazing.
Her music's great. And she's also the vocalist on all of her music, which I think is so cool. So her set was amazing. And I'm glad that we got to go see it. But she hooked us up with like the best tickets that we could have gotten.
Yeah.
Wait, that's amazing.
Like, artists. It was like, I don't know, artist VIP.
Pass.
And I've never even been to a festival in America before. So my standard just, I don't think I can do the general thing ever.
Right. You're like, I need a VIP situation now.
Especially in the heat in Texas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the VIP sections have like air-conditioned bathrooms, which I think are vital, especially when you're just like caked in glitter and like all the other things that you would be wearing to an EDM festival.
And you're
trying to like peel it off when you're sweaty, and just the AC bathroom is key.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, festivals are not my vibe for that kind of reason. I think it's a one-time thing for me, and then I don't think I'll ever need to do it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looked like a ton of fun. I mean, that's the kind of energy you guys put out. That's the kind of energy I aspire to work towards and like bring that openness into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a blast.
Yeah. So you just came back, how are we feeling? How's starting off life again after?
I feel like we're both recovering. Like, I feel like throughout June and being in Texas, and then I just had my birthday as well. It was like, eat everything. I was in Aruba as well. It was like, drink the margarita, eat the cheeseburger, eat the Texas brisket. And it was absolutely incredible. I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't regret it for a second. Mm-hmm. But, when you get back from a trip and just multiple weeks of just living your best life, and you're like, oh, okay.
Absolutely.
We're a little puffy compared to usual standards. So definitely trying to get back on track with some healthy eating and some healthy habits.
That's fair enough. And especially in summertime, I mean, this is like the time where you're trying to look your best.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about bikini season.
Bikini season is so hot.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
How did you feel when you got back? Because I know that we're both trying to eat a little healthier right now.
No, I'm like literally at this point in my life, I feel like I've trimmed up a little bit because I've been trying, but I was like, this is the heaviest I've ever been. And it's been like a steady increase over the last, I don't know, probably year of my life, which, I mean, mind you, I understand I'm not that heavy. Like, people will see this on camera and be like, shut up. But, like, for me, I've always been, like, a very tiny person, and it's always come very easily to me because dance is good cardio.
Yeah.
But then, and also, I feel like in the past, I had some very unhealthy relationships with food. And then lately, I've been getting rid of that mentality and like letting myself enjoy food and not thinking of like good and bad foods and like all of that ridiculousness. And I've just been like eating. And so then especially when you're on vacation mode, then you're really not just eating, because you're not like, when I'm at home, I'm like eating a lot of vegetables. I do pretty good about it naturally. But then when I've just been traveling so much, I'm like, yeah, cheeseburger, yes, brisket, yes, margaritas, yes, beer, yes.
Gimme.
Of course. But I actually feel that so hard. I mean, when you're like a relatively small person, something like that weight gain will sneak up on you because, with cardio, with the amount of working out that we do on a weekly basis, I know all three of us are expending a lot of energy. Mm-hmm. So then suddenly you're eating something, and for me, it was more like pandemic time that I kind of started to gain weight for the first time in my life. But I was like, wow, like you know, this creeps up on you really fast, and then suddenly you're like, oh, how do I get back to normal? That's definitely something I've been thinking about a lot.
That quarantine 15 caught a lot of us.
Totally caught a lot of us, and then like ended up keeping it, you know, because things have just kind of been up and down ever since with like work. I don't know about you, but I would say like I'll go through periods where I'm working a lot, and then suddenly this year I've just kind of been not doing so much work with dance. So I'm like, Yeah. But that being said, we were going to talk a little bit about, you know, what that's like to actually kind of go through a cut. So I'm curious to get Abby's take on this, because back before I started personal training, you were the first one who started talking about like going through a cut. And I was like, okay, well, I've never really done that. I've done like the dancer thing where like dancers are like, oh, we got to diet, you know, we got to watch what we eat. But talk to me about your process thus far. I know you're hopping back onto it after this vacation mode.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like using the word cut instead of diet. And I think that was the switch for me when I started understanding the bulk and the cut. I think seeing as a cut, it still means that you can eat calories, and you're just choosing better food. Like, increasing the protein that you're having, and like watching like, you know, how much fat you're intaking. I think, and then obviously having a calorie count as well, because the cut portion of it is restricting calories in some way, because that's the only way to lose weight. It's restricting calories. However you get there, you know,
absolutely.
That's how you drop weight. And I want to hear so much more, so I don't want to talk about that because I want to hear your expertise on that. But I think calling it a cut, I just enjoy, I feel like I'm cutting body fat, but that doesn't mean I'm dieting. It doesn't necessarily mean full restriction. It just means I'm cutting certain things that is going to help me achieve a better, you know, better body shape or whatever it is I'm going for at the time.
Yeah, and it works. I mean, I watched you go through it. It was probably like about a year ago, I would say, that I felt like you started getting super serious. That was when we were in the gym together. We were like, we're on our shit. Let's plan it out. And so like I've seen it work. Now, that being said, coming from someone who's been like small all their life, I've never done this before. This is the first time in my life I've ever gone through any sort of cut experience. And like, it's been really interesting. I've lost 10 pounds.
Wow.
In the past 8 weeks.
I wouldn't say congratulations, but I'm going to say congratulations because I know that you're doing it healthily.
Yeah, so it's weird to talk about, because for the longest time I never looked at the number on the scale. I was so terrified. I was like, I'm a muscular girly. If the number is more than I was expecting, I don't want to see it. So let me just not look ever. So I've been playing with the cut process now, understanding more about bodybuilding and, you know, building your body composition. That's all bodybuilding is. And for the past 8 weeks, literally all I have done is put myself on a calorie restriction. All I have done.
How many?
I eat the exact same foods. Like, it's literally that easy.
Are you having treats? Like,
so for example, I found this calculator. There's a couple of them online. It's like a gym calculator of what your maintenance calorie is based on like how much you weigh, how tall you are, and how often you work out. So for example, someone like me, 5'1", I work out vigorously probably 6 or 7 times a week. My maintenance calories is around 2,200. So on a nutrition label, most people will say 2,000 calories in a day. But someone like us, we have to eat more, and we can't be scared of that because we literally spend so much time working out and, you know, dancing and exercising. I'm allowing myself a range of between 300 to 500 calories. If I'm feeling aggressive, I'm down 500 calories. If I'm, you know, working out a lot more, 200 to 300 max. But literally all I'm doing is counting the exact calories. Now, that looks a little more strict because that means I have to weigh out my food. So like, I have a scale. So for example, if you look at a nutrition label on my Cheez-Its, I love white cheddar Cheez-Its. I weigh them out. They're the
stronghold
best
that Cheez-Its have.
I don't know what it is. I never had them as a kid. I love the white cheddar. It's amazing.
It's addictive.
but that's my orange ones, the darker orange ones.
Oh, the darker ones, the normal ones.
I like those. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the normal ones are good. I just like white cheddar. Yeah. It's just a little soft.
Maddie is a snack queen. I'm not gonna lie.
I am.
Every time I go to her house, she's like, I don't have much, and then she'll come out with like
a charcuterie board.
Cheese and like all this, and I'm like, what do you mean? You have
snacks.
so much stuff in your fridge. I love this.
There's
I've given
always
up my
that one
Cheez-Its
friend.
though
You
lately.
gave up the
Oh
Cheez-Its.
no.
Because of catalogs. But anyways, that's a whole other thing for a whole other time. And my
I love
political
it.
views. No. Anyways, but
Oh, shoot.
Cheez-Its,
I
I'm
wouldn't
living
even know.
vicariously through you. Eat them. No, do it. Live your life.
Yeah, I mean, I use that as an example to be like, okay, well, I can eat all the Cheez-Its I want as long as I weigh them out. And,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
So,
Like you can still have the Cheez-Its. You
Yeah.
just don't want to eat 3 bags of Cheez-Its.
yeah. Now that
Yeah.
being said, I mean, like, yes, eating the right amount of protein is good. But in terms of like, most people are like, I'm limiting carbs or that kind of thing. I'm not doing any of that. I'm just counting it.
worrying about the calories, and everything else you're giving yourself. If I want this, I'll have
Yeah.
it, as long as it falls within that goal.
Okay,
Yeah.
but question. Do you find yourself with that sitting in the back of your head a lot? Because I'll preface this question for myself. I've had not a healthy relationship with this in the past, because even though I am a small person, I used to do kind of some modeling a few years ago, and like I have always had the very round face. I'm just a little round face girly, and I like always, my like cheeks and my double chin are present unless I'm on like a cut, and that's the only way that your girl will ever get a little jawline going on. And so once I started to actually learn that, I had a very toxic ex, and he taught me some bad habits.
Go to hell.
Of like,
Sorry,
if
but
you're
do.
dehydrated, you'll look trimmed up. So like, don't drink any water a couple days before the shoot. Like, don't like do all these things, like crazy stuff. And I found myself realizing the first time that I fully cut that I was like, ooh, I was like, oh, she snatched. Oh my God, I never knew I could have a jawline. And then from that day forward, it was like downhill, because I saw food and was like, that's 500 calories. If I just don't eat that one thing, then like, I mean, I'll be at a deficit then. And I would hyper focus, and I'd be like in the gym or in the treadmill, and I'd be thinking about like, okay, when I get home, I'm gonna eat one egg and a cup of spinach, and I know how many calories that's worth. And then maybe if I'm still really, really hungry, I could have like a quarter of a piece of toast, because I know how many calories that is. And it was like the only thing that I could focus on until I gave it up. And then when I was like, Maddie, take a fucking step back from that. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on your podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Say whatever you
It's
want.
usually me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Say whatever you want.
Abby's pretty good.
I'll be the first one to drop it in there.
No, you're good. You're good.
But I was like, I've got to chill the fuck out on it. And now thankfully I have a very healthy partner who's like, you're hungry, just like eat food. What's wrong with you? Kind of thing. And I mean, he's very graceful with me in understanding that mindset. But he's like, don't do that to yourself. You're hungry, eat the food. You just you eat healthy foods. It's okay. And then I gained a bunch of weight because I wasn't at a
And you're, like,
deficit for
free.
the first time in like probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years of my life.
And you're happy?
And I'm so happy, and I'm realizing that like a lot of my even mental health was like really affected, not just because I was hyper focusing on food and calories, but also just because like I wasn't getting enough dopamine and serotonin levels and all those other things that you need, because food is fuel for your body, and it's also doing that for your brain. But yeah, all of that backstory to preface, have you found it hard to not hyper focus on it? Has weighing things out given you the ability to kind of take that mental load off? Or
So, yeah, it's interesting. I think we come from 2 different sides of it. I think I say this very lightly because I don't want to A, self-diagnose, or B, take away from people really struggling with eating disorders. But I've definitely had disordered eating habits for a long period of time. Would say lightly somewhere in the like restrictive binge cycle.
Yeah.
So like I would restrict so much, and then I would like eat a ton of food at night because I was A, really hungry,
right.
and not feeling myself.
Yeah.
I would say honestly that weighing it out, and you know, I guess everyone's different. Maybe not all of the people would have that same experience as I do, but it's been more freeing than anything else to be like, oh, I'm weighing out my food and I can have all of this and I can actually eat more than I think I can and still lose weight. So for me, I feel like I'm eating more than had I not weighed it out, if I had to guess, which is the thing, is we're blindly guessing half the time. But like if I have, 500 calories of chicken, and then suddenly I'm like, well, I still have 1,200 calories available to me. Like, what can I put in my body, and how fun is that?
Yeah.
I would say it's been more positive, which I'm very thankful to have a healthy partner who has healthy habits of doing the bodybuilding shtick, So he's teaching me a lot.
That's good. How does that feel like in your relationship dynamic to have somebody kind of on that journey with you?
It helps a lot.
Yeah.
Because without it, I mean, it's like, who are you spending your time around if it's somebody who, like, approaches the food with, like, a positive mindset and, like, oh, my gosh, look how we can eat all this food.
Yeah.
Like, it's been more healthy than just you're on your own. Because what if I was on my own and, like, you know, he's eating whatever, and I'm like, oh, shoot, I don't know how to do this, you know?
I mean, I said I was starting on Monday. We definitely drank rosé and ate.
But the thing is,
I actually lied.
Rosé.
Yes. I mean, you know,
When
we've
I
still
saw
been living.
you,
There's been birthdays
you know?
this week again, and I'm like, why does everyone have birthdays? And we made like healthy Mediterranean chicken bowls yesterday, which was like so much fun. We did it with Maddie and Mao, who's Maddie's boyfriend, and it was so fun. But I am about to enter a bit more of a restrictive cut because, I've gained some weight in areas that I'm like ready to not have there, especially with all the dance jobs coming up. So what would you, as if you were talking to me, or I guess anyone that's listening, what would be like some really good top tips for someone who wants to go on a cut, the healthy long-term cut, just like you have? You know, what's the best way to approach it where you can slowly but surely lose weight consistently, keep it off, but also enjoy the food and enjoy life and be able to go out to these birthday dinners? Like, what would be your top tips?
Yeah, I think in general, the reason why people don't stay with their weight loss journey is because of a restrictive cycle that they're on. If you limit and restrict yourself entirely from things, then you're more likely to swing back the other way. That's why in general, it's more about portion control, or, you know, eating healthy 80% of the time and like that 20% where you like allow yourself a cheat day. But again, like taking it back to the number, if you think about food as fuel, you can fuel yourself with Cheetos or wine or, you know, whatever it is. You can and still lose weight. It's not great for you to like totally forget to eat protein or like salads. For example, vegetable calories, like you can eat a ton more vegetables to make it the same amount of calories as like a cup of rice. Food is literally fuel. You can eat however much, and as long as it's the right amount, you're still losing weight. So again, like it's about sustainability. It's about, you know, slowly restricting. If, for example, currently you're eating 1,000 more calories than you should to lose weight, which most people aren't. Most people, you know, maybe a couple hundred calories is enough.
Yeah.
But if it's like a drastic change, you can work yourself there. You know, if your maintenance is 2,900 calories because you're a big dude and you're eating 2,800, you're still losing like a quarter of a pound a week maybe, you know, and that's
Still
something.
good.
Then that's something.
Yeah. And if that's more manageable, do it.
Yeah.
It's working.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. People jump all the way in and they're like 500 calorie deficit or whatever. So I'm way over. And then you're just like starving at the end of the day. And then it's impossible because you could do it for maybe a couple days, but then like you're going to be so lethargic and you're going to be so just over it before you even get through a week. So yeah, that's unless you are very unhealthy and then you just stick with it.
Like, which we don't recommend.
Which is that's what I'm saying. Unless you're unhealthy and your brain just clicks into that, which is like really bad. So 10 out of 10 do not recommend for that.
It's so hard because like, again, like you had said in the beginning where you were like, some people will look at this episode and be like, you don't need to lose weight. And some people will look at this and be like, Rachel, you've lost 10 pounds. Like, that's not good. And, you know, it comes back to like, how you personally feel. Like, if you feel good in your body, great. But also, you know, for me, I'm just like, I'm an artist, and, you know, what I put online is what people want to hire. So for me, this is just because of my career. You know, I'm very happy with my body, how it is, if it's a little bit curvier, if it's a little bit thinner. But it's literally just for work.
I mean, selfishly, I like to feel good in clothes. I like my clothes to fit well. And I think, you know, I know that there has been a really good movement towards like acceptance of all body types, which should just have been a thing throughout time. Like, why did we have to like fight online? And I've also seen the internet shifting recently. There's been a lot of backlash about some creators that have been again promoting this like Ozempic restrictive, like severely restricted, you shouldn't be eating, you shouldn't be this way. And I think that, you know, everyone, every body shape, size, it doesn't matter, everything is beautiful. And everyone should be accepted. There's no place to not be accepted for the body type that you have, you know. But for me, I know my body type, and I know when even it will never change. Like, you know what I mean? I'm always going to be a little curvy. I'm never going to be that tiny, tiny petite girl. But I know that when I put certain food into my body, I can feel it in my clothes when I'm going too far, and it's like, I want to feel good in my clothes. I want to be able to walk outside and feel confident and fit and able to use the body that I have.
Exactly.
I feel like going through that trend right now too, with like all of Ozempic just taking over Hollywood lately. But I also think, I was really thinking about it lately, the styles of clothing that we have now that are coming back around is very Y2K. And like we have like the really low rise jeans back in style, and those little mini cut shirts. And those are so unforgiving if you have anything going on here. And by anything, I mean the normal little bit that we're, as women, we're supposed to have right there in front of our uterus.
To
it's like
protect
part
our
of,
uterus.
it's part of our body. But we've been taught that that's wrong for the reason that when you wear those little low-rise jeans that are so cute, but if you don't have your hip bones sticking out when you wear those jeans, it doesn't look right. And I think like our fashion styles are sort of circulating us back into this really unhealthy weight thing, because for a while we had a lot of fashion styles that were very flowy and forgiving if you had any extra going on, or if you were just a curvy kind of lady, like it looked good. Like some things look way better on you if you were a little bit curvier, or if you had a little bit more going on. And now we're to the opposite. We're like, it's like very like flat chested in style, like no butt. Like I feel like a lot of that is coming back, and I'm watching it going, oh, man, I just got my boobs done like 4 years ago.
Oh my God. I mean, it's tricky, and it's one of those things that, again, this is fashion today. 4 years, 2 years, a year, 6 months from now, it'll be something totally different. So it's like you can never have a perfect body, really.
No, only for yourself.
So that's the thing, and then life happens. You have, you finish your cut and you feel amazing, and then you might, a family member might die, you might, you just like, there's so many things, and that's why I'm like, how can people be judged for what their body is looking like right now? Like, that's insane. Some people use food as comfort, some people escape in food, and like, that's, that's things that are going on in your personal life. And I know I've been there as well with like some of the more binging or restrictive, or if I go through like a really isolated period, which doesn't really happen to me anymore, but back, 10 years ago and stuff, I would escape with like even alcohol a little bit, and that would cause me to overeat, because and that was coming from a difficult place in my life that I wasn't addressing. So it's like food, it's just got to be, I think, just first of all more talked about, and like if everyone just threw away those stigmas of like looking like this and looking like this, maybe we could all get to like a better place.
I hope so. Sure. And honestly, like, I'm excited to see what the rest of my 4 weeks, I'm doing 12 weeks total.
12 weeks.
And just seeing where I'm at there. But like, the reason I want to just talk and share about this over and over and over is because we will always have people pushing drugs, people pushing fad diets, people pushing supplements. Like, the industry, the fitness industry has capitalized over on this so much.
So profitable.
But like, if you take it back to the basics, food is literally fuel. So however much you put in your body is however much weight you're gaining or losing. Period. And so if it really is that simple, like, you can and will lose weight, you know? So I say that to more like hopefully empower people and like just give some freedom to the experience, rather than feeling like you have to follow this keto diet or, learn from this creator who's taking these supplements, bloating pills, like all those stuff,
Take it back to basics.
Pretty much. I mean, that's, at least for me, that's all it's been. So,
well, this was awesome, you guys. I will check. I mean, I'm going to stop my cut. So in one of the future 3-month episodes, maybe we can reconvene, because I feel like hearing everyone's different viewpoints as women was really cool. So I think we can reconvene on this one.
Heck yeah.
Maddie, where can people find you?
You can find me anywhere online, Madi Mayo Music. Follow me on TikTok or Instagram if you like. It's spelled MADIMAYO Music. And also I'm a musician, so if you want to hear some, honestly, I'm going to brag, kick-ass pop music, you should check me out on Spotify, Apple
She's amazing.
Music. Wherever you listen to your music, it's Madi Mayo.
And you teach dance as well?
I do. I teach dance at Gravity LA. I teach a beginner sexy sass class. So if you are somebody who has always been interested in taking a dance class, but you've been a bit intimidated about the LA dance scene, because a lot of the beginner level classes are industry beginner level. This class is the one for you because it's actually just fun beginner level. If you've always wanted to try, come join us on Mondays at Gravity.
We will link everything in the description. And now we've recorded this. This is going to be live on YouTube too.
Yes,
which is so cool.
It's all coming. Finally. Thanks so much for those who listened in the early days. This is where we're getting to.
We're moving on up. But yeah, we will see you guys on the next one. Thank you.
Yeah, catch y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.